It's vitally important you have an image in your mind of the shape of the swing. In other words, the path and the track that the club follows, and also the track that your body follows. Now, let's talk about the club first of all. You know what happens with most people? They over-control the golf club. They try to hit the ball. As a result of that, the club swings on a very unnatural orbit. Now, I think the difficult thing about golf is that we're actually standing to the side of the ball and swinging on a pitched angle. In other words, we're swinging on a plane which is fairly similar to the angle of the golf club that we have in our hands at address. Now, important to understand that, hey, if we were swinging a baseball bat or really almost a forehand in tennis, that the motion really happens on a very horizontal plane. So it's a circular motion, certainly, but the golf swing now is a circular motion down at a very different angle. Now, this is what confuses a lot of people. Do we take it straight back? Do we take it inside? Do we swing it up? What do we do with the club? Well, you know, instantly enough, if you let the club almost follow its own track, it'll find a correct orbit. Now, let me show you what I mean. I'm going to grip the club with 2 fingers and a thumb. As I swing this club back, you'll notice it swings inside what we term the target line. The target line simply is the line down towards our target, through the ball, right, extending right down towards the target. Now, the club swings slightly inside that line. It swings around, certainly, but also it has to swing up, obviously. Now, you can see just with 2 fingers and a thumb, I'm not trying to control it. I'm just letting it swing. Back she goes. It'll swing in, around, up, to a point where, hey, at the top of the backswing, as it's termed, it's pretty much parallel to my target line. Then, consequently, as the club falls down, with gravity affecting the issue, the club swings down on a very similar track coming down, this rounded track. You see it's very much a circular rounded track, through to the ball, and then subsequently following a very similar arc through into this direction. So really what happens this side of the ball is pretty much a mirror image of what happens that side of the ball. So we can see in, around, up, online, down she comes, around and through to the other side. Now, if I just grip the club with 2 fingers and a thumb, you'll notice how this pretty much follows that track. So I'm not trying to over control it. I'm not going to hit very far, obviously, gripping it this way, but it will show you how the club actually swings. You know, one of the key issues in any good golf swing is rhythm and flow. How the club actually swings without over controlling it. You know, the club really doesn't weigh that much. Very much as I term it, it's like the dog wagging the tail, okay? The body moves, the tail swings. Or an elephant with his trunk. As his head moves, so the trunk moves. So trying to combine the movement of the body and the swinging of the club is all important. So let me just clip one away with 2 fingers and a thumb. I'm just going to simply make the swing and let the ball get in the way in a very gingerly fashion, and let's see what happens. Very simple, very easy. The ball just simply got in the way. I didn't try to hit the ball. I tried to make a swing and let the ball get in the way. Now, my body motion. Well, my body motion now has to turn in a little bit of a circular fashion. If I put the club across my shoulders like so, as I turn, you can see, yes, there's a little bit of a shift. There's a little bit of what we term lateral movement, but basically, I'm turning to the right, as if I was looking at somebody behind me. You can see the circular motion that I have here. As I swing through here, I shift back to the left and I turn back onto my left side and turn around and look at somebody behind me in this fashion. So we can see it's a circular motion with the body. At the same time, it's a circular motion with the club, but the club has to swing on this angle. It's what we term the plane of the swing. And if I can really help to describe the plane of the swing to players, it really helps them to understand how they get the club face square to the ball when they make contact, because that's what we're trying to achieve here. We're trying to achieve a situation where, hey, the club comes to the ball, is square when it makes contact, the ball leaves on target, the club's accelerating at that point, and hey, we hit long, straight golf shots. I've always felt in golf that the difficult thing for golfers to understand is the shape and the path of the swing. we like to describe it as a big wheel. Now, if we talk in terms of a baseball motion, a batter's motion, yes, it's very much on a horizontal, flat plane. Very easy to picture this circle, this wheel, on this plane. Conversely, if you look at croquet or even putting, it's very much a vertical plane, almost a pendulum-like action, straight back and through to a large extent. But now, in the full swing, we've got to look at the shape of the swing being very much on the angle that we address the ball at. You see, look at the angle of this shaft here. So as I swing back, this wheel has to move on this track. And that's a very difficult thing to conjure up in one's mind, especially when we're thinking in terms of coming from the inside, not trying to hit the ball with the club swing on a straight line. You see, the club is only on a straight line for maybe this distance. The rest of it is actually moving around. It moves up, it moves down, it then moves around again. So here's a little exercise to actually help you to feel this. All you've got to do is to actually swing in a baseball type fashion. So swing it here, do this a couple of times, and then gradually just lower it. Bring it down to here now. Feel the shape of the swing. You can see it's moving on a slightly different plane here now. A little lower still. Until we finally get to the ball, and then we have this sense of that same movement. As long as you get the shape of the swing being more of a rounded wheel shape, but yet on this line, then you've got the correct picture in your mind. So now when you're on the practice tee, make a swing in a baseball fashion like this. And then get down with a similar feel and hit the golf ball. Now, if you can learn to take the baseball plane and put it on a golf plane, you got it.